side and extend my elbow, and that's going to create momentum. And then I'm just going to kind of move my hips and legs to guide the momentum and bring the kettlebell back to shoulder or the starting position, and then push one leg back till you feel a stretch, and then you slowly walk your hands back and sink in. This will exaggerate the hip flexor stretch, and instead of squatting up, you lean back forward, bring the leg. So for today's workout, I started off with 30 sets on the sled as cardio. I did 10 sets with no weight on the sled, uh, 10 sets with one plate on the sled, then 5 sets with 2 plates, and then 5 sets with 3 plates to end it off. I also did some warm-up on the lat pull-down machine. All of that took me about 50 minutes. Now I've moved into some mobility, so I was feeling pretty fatigued this morning. Even though I slept at like 1 a.m. last night, I woke up at like 10 a.m. And then even after that, I needed a nap, so at around 2. So all that made me think that I probably am more fatigued than I should be, or I need to recover more. And what I've decided to do is focus more on mobility today, take heavy weight out of the equation, or take even very cardiovascular taxing movements out of the equation. Although I guess the sled was kind of that, but I didn't do it for as long as I usually do. So I guess I've made some sort of adjustment there. In any case, with the mobility exercises, what I'm going to do is something kind of a Cossack squat deadlift kind of thing with the kettlebell, and a shoulder rotation thing with a lighter kettlebell. For the exercise with this, I'm going to enter like a half squat and hold like a sumo squat and hold the kettlebell. And in this position, I'm going to lean to one side, shifting weight into the quad of the right leg and stretching out the adductors? Yeah, the adductors of the opposite leg. Feeling the stretch for a second. I'm going to slowly come back to the middle, do a deadlift, and then switch hands. The kettlebell kind of helps you keep balance and allows you to explore the stretch for a second before coming back to the middle and doing a deadlift, engaging the glutes. I've found that this helps me open up my hips, and a lot of my mobility does surround the hips, mostly because outside of the gym, I spend a lot of time sitting down because of desk work and video editing and just being on the phone, watching TV, all that good stuff. So a good chunk of my mobility stuff does relate to lower body and hip mobility. In any case, doing 3 each side of this, and then moving into some shoulder rotation. So that being said about the hip stuff, there is a lot of mobility to be gained in the upper body as well. So doing the shoulder rotation thing that I often do as a warm-up before lifting. So I'm holding the kettlebell, a light one, and like I don't know what this grip is called. Any case, I'm going to lean to one side and extend my elbow, and that's going to create momentum. And then I'm just going to kind of move my hips and legs to guide the momentum and bring the kettlebell back to shoulder or the starting position. without actively using the shoulders. In this lift or in this movement, I'm not directly engaging the shoulders at any point. I'm just guiding the momentum using my hips and core and a slight rotation of my toes or feet, and it's kind of feels good on the shoulder joint. Feels like I'm able to rotate it along its entire like pathway of rotation almost. So at least for me, I feel like it helps with the overall shoulder rotation capability of the shoulder, if that makes sense. Gonna do this for 4 to 5 sets as a superset, and then on to something else. So for the next set of exercises, moving into some ankle mobility. So I'm having a strap on my leg around the feet. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to do tib raises. So I'm going to keep one leg on the floor and bend to kind of support myself, and with the other leg kind of just do tib raises. Good for the tibialis is a muscle that runs over here and is responsible for shock absorption when running or jumping. And so it's good to train these because these are the muscles that in turn like absorb the impact that's going into the knee. And so the stronger your tibs are, the less shock that's going to go into the knee, or is going to be able to absorb and support more of it, and so your knee doesn't get strained. It's also good for ankle mobility, so it's stretching out a set of muscles over here, which helps your ankle be more mobile. Doing about 20 to 25 of these and switching legs. Slipping. So along with that, another function of the ankle and the set of ankle muscles is the ability to rotate clockwise and anti-clockwise, and I think with the other leg it would be clockwise and anti-clockwise, the other way for the other set of muscles. So what I'm doing for that is I'm having a smaller kettlebell and having the handle around my shoe, kind of in the toe area, and I'm doing ankle rotations with that. Going for 5 one side or one way of rotating, and 5 the other way of rotating. Gonna do 5 clockwise, 5 anti-clockwise on the other leg too. I'm not sure how clearly this is visible on the camera, but I'll try. Having good or being able to do that or doing more of that improves the mobility of your ankle, which in turn reduces how bad.
How many you done? You just started?
Got like 3 or 4 more sets left. Being good at these ankle rotations helps at. So, for example, if you get sprained, the amount of damage that your leg will take when you get sprained, or if you get a sprain, is going to be a lot lesser. You're also going to feel more confident in your steps. At least me personally, what I've noticed is by doing tibialis work and this ankle rotation stuff, I just feel more confident in the steps that I take, and I also don't feel like I don't feel like I'm prone to sprains or injuries. In any case, gonna do this for a bit, and yeah, on to something else. So moving into some hip flexor and lower ab strengthening. So I have the cable attached to my feet, and I'm laying on a bench that's on a higher surface than the floor. This allows the hip flexor to stretch a little bit more, and going to relax my hip muscles so that I can really focus on like the I don't know, saying relax the hip muscles kind of sounds weird because you are using the hip flexor, but just trying to relax muscles in that area so that all the resistance falls on the lower abs and the hip flexor. And then once I am able to connect with those muscles, I'm going to bring my knee to chest. I'm going to go for 10 each side. It's a good exercise for the lower abs and strengthening the hip flexors. Strengthening the hip flexors makes you good at picking up your feet, which in theory should help you run faster. Switching sides. So, just to kind of recap kind of the stuff that I've done so far. So now I've done groin strengthening and lengthening, a shoulder rotation, ankle rotation, and now hip flexor strengthening and a little bit of stretching. I think I'm going to keep do one more hip flexor thing where I lengthen the hip flexor. So ATG split squats or something similar. And or should I save that for on later? I don't know. Okay, so probably hip flexors lengthening next. So the ATG split squats, and then maybe move into some Quadratus Lumborum after. which is essentially side bends on the hyperextension. In any case, hip flexor lengthening is next. So instead of doing ATG split squats, I've decided to show you guys an exercise that I haven't done in a while, but it has appeared on a previous episode for sure. So it's this hip flexor thing that I like to do on smooth floors with a napkin. You can just use your socks, but I don't feel like taking my shoes off. So what happens is, because this thing can slide, you can, I don't know, I'll just show you. So get into crouching position and then push one leg back till you feel a stretch, and then you slowly walk your hands back and sink in. This will exaggerate the hip flexor stretch, and instead of squatting up, you lean back forward, bring the leg in, switch. Come down, bring the leg in, switch. I'm going to repeat this for 5 each side. So the difference between this and the ATG split squat is, in the split squat you push with your quads back up. In this case, you don't have to use your quads. You can just slide in and out of position and switch the hip flexor that you're stretching at each rep. I'm also leaning back to exaggerate that stretch. But yeah, I'm gonna do this for hip flexor mobility, and then I said Quadratus Lumborum earlier, which is probably what's up next after this, but so that'll be this side. So then after that, probably something for this part, and then that should be for mobility. So yeah, probably some more exercise for you. So moving into some QL raises. So QL, because it's a muscle called the Quadratus Lumborum that runs along the sides of the core. Yeah. And making sure that I'm in position. Yeah. So essentially doing a side bend. I don't know, maybe I should just do it on the hyperextension, but I don't know, I wanted to challenge myself a little today. Going for 5 reps each side. I don't know, not much to say there except trying to lean as much as possible. Trains the ability of the spine to bend sideways. And yeah, good for spine health, I would say, because it helps you move sideways. In any case, going to do this for 2 to 3 sets and then on to something else. So this is going to be the last mobility exercise and probably the last thing I do before I hit the sauna. In the sauna, I'm probably going to take a kettlebell and do some ab stuff, or just kind of random stuff to get my heart rate going even higher than the sauna can make it. In any case, that's for a later time. So I'm going to do pullovers over here. So I have one of these boxes and two 10-pound kettlebells. I'm going to use this to rest my back on to help assist the natural arch of the back, and then do pullovers. Looks like this. So with that, I'm really targeting the serratus and opening up the thoracic part. I don't know, the reason I said it that way is, I don't know, when we use all these terminologies of all these anatomical terminologies, it just sounds super wise and cool. And you can just say it's opening up the chest area, and then it just makes sense to a lot more people, I guess. In any case, it does open the thoracic area or the chest area. And yeah, that's going to be it for the workout. I'm going to go to the sauna, 20 minutes in there, take a light kettlebell, do a mixture of mobility and abs. And yeah, that should be it for today's video. See you all tomorrow.